The enlightened triple constraints. The foundation is the level of trust that you've built with your stakeholders. How strong is that relationship? Another component are expectations. It depends very heavily on your relationship with your stakeholders because without a high level of trust, they're simply not going to tell you what it is that they really want to have happen as a result of the work of you and all of your team members. But the other component is risk management. And risk management is a particular interest to some key stakeholders that you have a vested interest in keeping a strong relationship with your own senior level management team. We talk a lot in the project management community of the strategic value of the projects that we manage on behalf of the organizations that we work in. And that's largely in part because while levels of projects may vary from hugely complicated and millions, if not billions of dollars to quite simple but key projects that are in the thousands of dollars instead, one thing is particularly certain. Every single project that you manage on behalf of your organization stands to bring value to your organization. And as such, it means that risk management and how you approach it, how you execute on it, and why you do it in that way becomes particularly important to your senior leadership team. So, a couple of things. One, involve them in the discussion of identifying risk. It would be wonderful if they would participate in the team's risk identification session, but let's face it, they don't always have the time or necessarily the inclination. But you can initiate a smaller, more intimate, and therefore possibly more trusting meeting just between the two of you to make sure that they have an opportunity to tell you if there's anything coming down the road that they see that might affect your project if it happens, either well or perhaps painfully. Remember, the definition of risk is that it is uncertain. And from their vantage point, your senior leadership team have viewpoints and a view ahead that you might not have if they don't share it with you. So give them the opportunity to do that. Okay. So, one, get them involved in the risk identification process. Two, make sure that you're very clear about what their priorities are. Are they in a tight regulatory bind? Do they have a schedule that is built based upon this happening, your project, so that other things that have to cascade after it can happen in a timely fashion? You need to know because your management of the schedule at that point becomes even more important to them as individuals. And how you manage the information around schedule risk will be determined by what they tell you. Okay? So, one, get them involved in risk identification. Two, make sure that you're very, very clear about what their priorities are around what your project is designed to deliver to them so that they can accomplish the organization's strategic objectives. Three, do a sanity check. Just because we establish that we know exactly how we're going to work together, and at the beginning of the project, everybody agrees, that's wonderful. That is. And then, maybe 6 weeks in, it turns out we might be getting on somebody's last frayed nerve because it turns out they actually don't need to hear from us every single week. They'd actually rather hear from us on an exception basis. You know, as long as things are okay, don't worry about it. But if something happens, I expect to know. Well, most of the time when people tell you that they want to know on an exception basis, they're not telling you to stop talking about things when things are going well. They just want you to tap down a little bit on the volume of contact. And that's okay. So do a sanity check. After the project's been in place for a while and you've done a number of updates, ask them if there's anything else they'd like to know or any way that they would like to tweak your communications plan for keeping them informed. You see, one of the greatest risks that you, as a project leader, as a project manager, run is losing support of a senior leadership team member who actually started out by being one of your champions and having your back. So, since we know that's a risk, and it is uncertain, let's mitigate that as best as we possibly can. Put in steps that make sure that you reduce the probability of losing that all important senior leadership champion. Get them involved in the identification process. Know exactly what their priorities are on the project. And three, check in to make sure that your understanding remains current. And if there's any change they'd like you to make, that gives them the perfect opportunity to tell you. You know, in leadership driven project management, we're really big on giving you very specific actions that you can use immediately. And we limit it to three because typically we're actually only asking you to deploy at least one of the three. You want to build a habit of using that is so effortless, so seamless that you don't even have to think about it. You will do it. And that way, you can add one of the other two steps later. It's an approach that helps you create a culture that is more highly productive and teams that are higher performing, step by step, in a way that lasts. If you find these videos helpful and our approach useful, please like, subscribe, forward us to someone else that you think might enjoy the video lessons as well. I'm Kimi This video is being produced and brought to you by the Leadership Driven Project Management Academy, and we loved having you with us. Thanks for joining us.